In this episode of the podcast, Jordan Peterson engages in a discussion with Naftali Bennett, the former Prime Minister of Israel, focusing on the complex geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, particularly the roles of Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas. The conversation delves into the historical context, current events, and the future of Israel amidst ongoing conflicts and internal divisions. Bennett asserts that a significant portion of the problems in the Middle East can be traced back to the Islamic Republic of Iran. He describes Iran as a radical regime that exports its ideology and terror across the region, destabilizing every country it touches. This exportation of violence is facilitated through funding, training, and arming various militant groups, including Hezbollah and Hamas. Bennett emphasizes that Iran's ultimate goal is to annihilate both the United States and Israel, making it a sworn enemy of the Jewish state. The discussion highlights the geopolitical implications of Iran's actions, particularly in relation to the October 7th attack on Israel. Bennett argues that the internal strife within Israel, particularly the polarization surrounding judicial reforms, distracted the nation and laid the groundwork for this attack. He believes that the Iranian regime's stated intent to replace and eradicate Israel is a clear indication of the existential threat it poses. Bennett reflects on the current state of Israeli politics, describing it as deeply polarized. He identifies the internal divisions as a significant challenge, stating that the animosity between different political factions has reached unprecedented levels. He believes that the primary issues dividing Israelis, such as religion and state, judicial reforms, and the Palestinian question, are often exaggerated for political gain. Most Israelis, he argues, agree on the fundamental issues, but are caught in a cycle of group identity politics that prevents constructive dialogue. He emphasizes the need for unity in the face of external threats, advocating for a bipartisan government that can work together to address the challenges facing Israel. Bennett expresses concern that the internal divisions could lead to a repeat of historical mistakes, where infighting among Jews resulted in the loss of sovereignty. The conversation shifts to the October 7th attack, which Bennett describes as a catastrophic failure of Israeli intelligence and military preparedness. He notes that the attack was not only a result of external threats, but also a consequence of the internal distractions that had consumed the nation. He argues that the enemies of Israel were able to exploit this internal chaos, leading to a devastating assault that caught the country off guard. Bennett discusses the military response to the attack, emphasizing the need for a clear strategy and defined objectives. He critiques the current approach, suggesting that Israel should focus on short, high-intensity military operations rather than prolonged conflicts that drain resources and public support. He believes that a decisive victory over Hamas is essential for the future stability of Israel and the region. Bennett provides insight into Hamas, describing it as an organization that thrives on ideology and popular support among Palestinians. He argues that defeating Hamas is crucial not only for Israel's security, but also for the potential future of the Palestinian people. He suggests that if Hamas were to be dismantled, it could pave the way for a more constructive governance structure in Gaza, potentially leading to a better future for its residents. Bennett acknowledges the complexities of the Palestinian issue, noting that while there is a desire for peace, the reality is complicated by the influence of Iran and other radical elements. He emphasizes that any future negotiations must consider the broader geopolitical landscape, particularly the role of Iran in funding and supporting militant groups. The discussion also touches on the Abraham Accords, which Bennett views as a significant step towards normalizing relations between Israel and several Arab states. He argues that these agreements reflect a shift in the Arab world's perception of Israel, recognizing its value as a trading partner and a military powerhouse. He believes that the accords have the potential to reshape the region, but they are met with skepticism from Iran, which sees them as a direct threat to its influence. Bennett highlights the importance of fostering relationships with moderate Arab states, suggesting that they share a common interest in countering radical Islam. He believes that Israel can play a pivotal role in this effort, but it requires a united front and a clear strategy to address the challenges posed by Iran and its proxies. Bennett discusses the broader implications of radical Islam, noting that it is not limited to Hamas and Hezbollah, but is a pervasive ideology that threatens stability across the region. He argues that the West must recognize the dangers posed by radical elements and take a proactive stance in countering their influence. He emphasizes the need for a comprehensive strategy that includes diplomatic, economic, and military measures to address the root causes of radicalization. Bennett also reflects on the internal dynamics within the Muslim world, acknowledging that there are forward-looking leaders who seek to establish peace and cooperation with Israel. However, he warns that these efforts are often undermined by the radical elements that thrive on conflict and division. As the conversation draws to a close, Bennett expresses his optimism for the future of Israel, particularly in light of the resilience demonstrated by the younger generation. He notes that the events of October 7th have galvanized a new sense of purpose among Israeli youth, who are willing to sacrifice for their country. He believes that this generation will play a crucial role in shaping Israel's future, provided that the internal divisions can be addressed. Bennett concludes by emphasizing the need for a united front against external threats, urging Israelis to come together and focus on their shared values and goals. His message is one of hope and determination, as he calls for a collective effort to build a stronger, more resilient Israel in the face of ongoing challenges.